How you doing, guys? My name is Ace, and I've decided what a better way to waste my time than to write tic-tac-toe in TypeScript. I know, right? Crazy. So, the idea is I will write single JavaScript line. Not a single JavaScript line will be written in this TypeScript project. So, this will be only typed, completely typed to solve this tic-tac-toe. Now, the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to create an object that has three rows. I'll say 1, 2, and 3, and each one has an array that contains three values that will be, well, let's just say asterisk, asterisk, asterisk for all of these. And the way to play the game is that you would have a string, a complete string, that will be like the turns for, let's just say, the type. So tic-tac-toe will have like this will be the type, and each line, each number, and I'll have the numbers between 1 to 9 corresponding to each square or a placement to put the O and the X. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 will be something like that. And then when you write 1, 2, it will be XO, something like that. Okay. And that's how I'm going to do it. And let's see. Okay, so in order to start, I have the clock. Yeah, I have the clock. 25, 26. Okay, let's go. Type, and I'll first define the blank. The blank would be an asterisk, and then I'll define the first player, which is the X, and the second player, which is Y. No, it's not Y. It's O. Yeah. And then I'll define a square. Say square. No, say player character should be equal to first player or second player, and the player placement, no, I'll say not player, but placement character should be equal to player character, or no, placement player character, or blank. So and then I'll have to define the object. So type, I just say board type, which is a generic type for how you're going to create the objects. It should have one that has an array of just, let's just say, a placement character 3 times. So ah, 1, 2, and 3. Then I'll have it 1, 2, and 3. I'll still replace this. It will do thing. So then, am I good here? Oh, I don't have it. So just have to do this instead. Yep. And then I have board type, and then I'll define what can I do on the board type. Oh, and also, I will have here a text thing that will have some sort of messages like player X1, something like that. And then so I should have here text, which could be, it should be text, which can be initialized or it cannot with a string. I'm good here? Yes, I'm good. So now I can define the initial board. So type initial board should be equals to 1. Well, I can just grab all these two. And then instead of placement character, I can go, let me just, okay, man. Keep touching my mouse pad. until, and then I'll say change asterisk, no, be asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. This time I would like to be explicit. And then we need to define some functions. We need to define some function that we can use on this board, like whatever. I want to have the ability to add text, so type board with text, which should receive a board, which extends, extend the board type and the text that I would like to add. And then I'm going to create a new board type, which has a prop in key of board, or it has to have text in it. So I can say that if prop extends text, then I would like to write text, the new text that I would like to add. Otherwise, I would like to keep the board as regular. So now I'm going to check it. Type check board with text. And let's just say I write here board with text, which has the initial board and some text. It should look, well, I can't have it like this. I can use the new sign, so I can just go like this. How does it look? Good. Some text with some things. Amazing. Okay. What else would I like to have for this board? Well, this is for the board. So this the entire thing is for the board. So let's just say board logic. Then I'll go down, and then I'll say there should be say game or winning logic. So I'll just write winning logic. So in order to win a game of TicTacToe, what do you need? I need to have either diagonal, row, or column that has the same character for each. So how would I go around doing that? Put it up. I know, I have an idea. So I can have a type winning by row. And then I'll be very, very explicit on this one. Board extends board type. And does it matter which row? No. Let's just say I don't care about that. So I'm gonna say the first row needs to have blanks, or just no, it has to have all winning signs. So board at 1, at 0, and let's just say this, oh, it needs to be an array. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to couple all the row together, and I'm going to match it against a single player character. So for example, board 1 and 0 needs to be, since we're attaching on the row, I can just take all of this, and then, oh, I don't have it. And I don't have this one as well. Okay, board at 1, 1, and board at 1 and 2. Right? Should have a comma there. And it should extend either first player 3 times, or second player 3 times. Now, I could have written it in a more dynamic way, but since it's fairly simple, It's not a very complex game, right? So I think I can go right ahead and just write it as brute force as I can, and I just hope for the best. You know, it's not the prettiest of things to do, but it just works. So I'll just go p double. I'll print it twice. If I didn't find by row, then I wanted to return a false. And all of this should be changed to 2 or 3. 3 or 2. This one is 0. This one should be 2 or 3. This one should be 2 or 3. Yep. Now, did I write here second player 2 times? No, I'm not sure. No, it's good. So this is winning by row. And then I would like to have the same thing for winning by column, which is not that different. It's just like you need to play with the numbers. Column. And you have 1 and 0, which is fine. Then I want to have 1, 2 with 0, and 1, 3 with 0. As you can see, like it only changed the way it only changed slightly. So it has to have here 2. This one should be 3, so 0, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, and then 0, 1, 2, 2. Right? Yeah. And the same should be here. So 0 to 1. No, it should be, this one should be 1. This one should be 1. This one should be 2, so it will be 1, 1. This one should be 1, 2. So this one should be 2. And it should look something like 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Am I happy about it? Yes. So this is how you win by column, because for each row, you're just continuing down the same angle. So let me show you winning by row. It's just like if I have 1, then it's on the array, it's 0, 1, 2. And if it's winning by column, then it just should be the row 1, 2, and 3, but with the same column, which is 0 or 1 or 2. Okay. Now the diagonals. Type winning by diagonal. Diagonal, yes. And then I'll write board extends board type. And that should have, no, actually, no, without that. And then this one is not as tricky, but it's still something that you need to look for. I just take this 4. Nope, this 4. Then sit down, should be, okay. And then you need to sort of calculate it. So you have only 2 diagonals. So it will be 1, 0, 2, 1, and 3, 2. Now it would go like this. And then you have it the other way, which is the first row, the last one, which is good. Let me just change that. It should have 2 and 1. So it should be replaced. Should have 2 and 1. It should have 3 and 0. Should have 1 and 2. Yeah, so these are the diagonals. And then I can take all of these, type winning, winner is, we'll just say to extend the board again, board type. And then I'll say, are you winning by row? For the same board. For the same board, yeah. Whether or not it extends false. Or I can say it extends the other thing. But if it does, let's just say it extends the player character. If it does extend the player character, then I need to write it down again, which is probably the most inefficient thing to do when talking about TypeScript, but well, what you can do. Then it should be pretty much around the same, but instead by row, let's just say right column. And then I'm gonna, did I spell it correctly? Yes, I did. Oh, I didn't have the thing. If it extends a player diagonal, cool. And then I say winning by column, winning by diagonal. And then it should have pretty much this thing. And then worst case scenario, false. Now this is in order to win. Just write the draw logic. Because you could draw, you most likely will draw. Draw? Draw. I'm not sure if it's how you spell draw. Oh, never mind. Board, which extends board type. And this one should just be is any value here, is any value is not blank. I can do that. Oh, regardless, I need to convert. I need to convert the coordinate. So if you write 1, something needs to convert the 1 to 1 over 0, which is this. And if you write here, let's just say 9, so this 9 should be converted to 3 by 2. So I'm going to call it, so between this and this guy. So I need to have the type, I just say turn to coordinate. I just call it mat because it's a matrix. And then I'm gonna do something like, am I running over the same matrix again? If I am, then you know what, it's fine. It's fine. So have it, and again, not the prettiest looks, not the most prettiest of thing, but whether or not it has a 1, it needs to have the 1 and 0. If it's 2, it should be 1 over 1. If it's 3, it should be 1 over 2. Okay, and then I'll go copy 2 from above, and then I paste it 2 times to actually get it to 4, 5, 6, 4, 7, 8, 9. Cool. And then here it's 2, here it's 3. Okay. And now I need to go over each whether or not is a tie. Maybe it's better to write here a tie. Tie. TicTacToe. Let's go. So in order to, I need to go through this matrix in order to decide if it has a coordinate or not. If in every one of those coordinates there isn't a blank. So I need to go through it in a very not very efficient manner. So I'll just go count extends an unknown array that has an empty array, or maybe with a single value. And then I'm going to say when I need to break it down. Well, if I've converted the count to a coordinate and within the board it has not have a blank, then I need to return false. Otherwise, I need to return whatever it returns, and if the value is equal to 10, if the count is equal to 10, then that means that I'm through it all. So I'm going to start with count in the length extends 10. That means that I'm done. Then I'm going to write here true, because that's where it works. And then I'm going to ask myself, is the board where let's just say I can have it for, I can actually have a type for it. So type turn to chord, not mat, but just a regular one that needs to get just say number, which extends key of turn to mat chord. And that should be turn to math chord. That should have the number. Right? Okay. And now I need to ask myself whether or not turn to math chord at count length, which it does not like because I need to convert it to a string, which is also a thing that I need to think about. There is an easier way to do that, probably. You know, actually, there is an easier way. It's also a very tedious way to do it. So I can have the function of adding one, or I can just write it like this. But then it will yell at me because it does not like when I'm doing this. Nope. Okay, it doesn't work. So I'll just have the logic for adding one. So type add one should have a number, which extends key of turn to math, which has an array, which looks like I need to add one. 0 doesn't exist, so it's never. If 1 exists, then it's 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and so on and so forth. And then I write here, I can write here 10 or never. I can write here never because I don't want to support what happens if you add to 9 1. And then I'll write here a number. Yeah, and now it works. Now instead of writing the count, I can write here, instead of count, I can write here 1. And I say we'll extend key of turn to math. Not the prettiest of things, definitely not the prettiest of things. Now I can do whether or not count extends never. Because if it does, then it means that we are done. Because the last thing within the variable is never. So just to go, and I'll keep adding this one as I'll try to move forward. So it's not count. Now it should be fine. It should be at the 0. And then it should be turn to chord for count at 1. And then I'll just keep on asking whether or not it extends blank. Because if it does, then I need to return here false. And through the other cases that I have here, I need to check for tie. For board, add 1 to count. So this one needs a bit of explanation, but there is an easy way to check it. So essentially what that we are doing here, then we keep on adding 1. The way it works, essentially, that because I have here 1, and even though it's not a number index, it's a string index, the TypeScript system does know to convert the string-based index to a number-based index when you're talking about arrays. So since we don't have 0, and turn to math starts with 1, so this is the 1. So I've essentially I plugged in the number, which is 1, to its own location within the array, which added 1 to it. So number was added 1, now it's 2. And if you plug in 2, which will be 0, 1, 2, you'll get 3. And when you move on, the more you move on, you'll get to never if you didn't finish this thing already. So you kept on adding 1, and then you're done for it. It's really cool. So let's talk now. We talked about the turn to chord. Okay, which is general game things, but let's just leave it there. Tie logic. And then I want to say, well, there are some invalid cases. For example, you try to put on the same place twice, so invalid cases. I can say if it's an invalid case. Okay, let's just write down what could be the first invalid case. The first invalid case is double. Let's just say double marking. So if you placed double placement, if you placed on the same square twice, it's invalid. Placing should get a board, which extends a board type. And we need to get the turn. So turn, which should extend. Actually, now I can define now a turn. So a turn could be 1 of 9. So type turn equals to key off turn to format. And then instead of writing key off a bunch of times, I can write here turn, right? And here, turn. Which is a funny thing to say that a count extends a turn, but it works. So now, oh, maybe I should rename it to turn type. Let's just rename it. Can I do F2 here? Yes. Cool. Now turn extends turn type. And then I need to ask myself, is the board, well, it's pretty much similar to this one, but instead of asking if it equals to blank, whether or not is the turn placed on turn, change the word turn, is extended player character. Because if it does, then it's true. Otherwise, it is false. What other invalid cases do I have? Well, the next invalid case that I might have, which is someone did not double place, but did an invalid character. So invalid character caused when it is not between 1 to 9. So if it's not within 1 to 9, I can handle it in a different method. Or I can handle it here. Yeah, I prefer to handle it in the render logic. So, tic-tac-toe time. Woohoo! Type tic-tac-toe. Because I think we have everything we need. Oh, no, we still need to have the new board method. New board should have to have board, and it should extend the board type. And it should have a player character, which should extend a player. Do I have player character? I keep forgetting. Player character should be player character type. Union. Better. And that should be it as well. Because it should be very explicit. So now, because now I can distinguish between player character and player character union. So I have a new board, a player character, and then I need to have the turn, which extends turn type. Right? I can put the player last. It'll be useful later. Turn extends turn type. And then I can have, now I need to create a new object that looks somewhat similar. So I have prop in key off board. And now I need to ask myself, is prop, well, I can say prop extends text just to get rid of text. Then if it does, then leave it as B. And now if prop extends, let's just say, I need to know if it extends the coordinate of the first of the turn. So maybe I should write here, instead of turn and keep on converting turn to coordinate, I can just write here the key off and the longitude. It's fine. So turn to chord at 0. So if it's the same row, I need to do something. Alas, if it's not, then I need to write here board at prop. Now, if it does, then I need to return a new array. And to do that, and I need to decide whether or not the prop extends the turn to chord at the 1 for, no, not prop. It should be turn to chord, turn to code, to chord at turn at 1 extends 0. Because if it does, and now I need to write it, it's going to be slightly ugly, not that much, but slightly ugly. So it should be, if it does, then I want to write here the player character. Alas, I wanted to do the board at, it should be turn to chord or prop. It could be prop. Prop at 0. Right? Yeah, it does, because that's the only thing that moves here. And then I'll write here a comma. And then this thing goes to be 3 times for each one. So if it does extend 1 or 2, then it should write the player character. Otherwise, it should be 2 or 1. That's not the prettiest of functions, I gotta admit. But it does the thing, because it will switch for whatever placement that I have for the turn. So for example, if I have an array that has blank, 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 it will change that to whether or not is it turn to convert to within the array to 1 or 0, 1 or 2. It will convert it to the player character and will return the new board. So in order to check that, type check new board. And I'm going to say it has to have new board. Should have initial board. Do you have initial board? Initial. I don't. Oh, I do have it. Stop. And then I wanted to have the turn should be, say, placement number should be, let's just say 3, just to check it. And then I'll have the player character, which is X. And then I'm gonna do this thing. Boop, boop. Yes! Amazing. It works. Now, if I'll change 3 to 4, or to 5, or to 9, it works incredibly. Which is exactly what I wanted. And now, and instead of just ending it at that, I'm going to add a new check for board 2 to see whether or not if it's consistent. So instead of writing initial board, I'm going to write here, say 2, and I'm going to write here check new board. And now I want to see 2 placements. Amazing. 0. I'm going to say here, oh, it should be O. And then here I want to write here 1. Amazing. And that's how the board will continue on accumulating itself. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. I'm happy. Wait. Yeah, better. So now, type TicTacToe. TicTacToe should receive turns, which extends string any string, it should have as an option the board, which extends a board type. And it should also have this board should be initial board, because the player wouldn't care which board are you starting from. And I think that's pretty much it. And I can also write here player character. It should have it should extend the player character union and should be first player. Okay, that was a bit of a mouthful. Now, in order to have TicTacToe, what do we need to do? Where do we even start? I want to check something. I want to check that, first of all, we don't have a winners or losers on the board, or that the board is in a valid state. So if winner on the board, we have a winner on the board, which extends a player character union, not placement, player character union. Then if it does, then I want board with text. I want to add a text to the board that says, I just have it, the winner is, and then I'll write the winner on board. Okay. If I have a tie on the board, and I want to extend, which extends true, which is only a question. So I want to say board with text, board, tie, not anything special. Okay. Now, if there aren't any winners, and it's not a draw, then now I need to start calculating. So, turns need to extend infer first and infer rest. Infer first. Well, let's just write it turn and infer rest. If the turn extends a turn type, then it's cool. Then it's exactly what we expected. But if it doesn't, then I need board with text. For board. Yep. And let's just write here the text. Invalid character. And let's just write here the term for what was invalid. And then, if it doesn't infer them, and that will be the exit case, then I need to write here the board. Now, in the case the turn type is valid, there aren't any winners, I want to repeat TicTacToe with the new board, with, let's just say, the rest of turns, or let's just say rest of turns. And board, but instead of board, I'll write new board that accepts board, the player character. Oh, and the turn. So turn, player character, turn. A player character, and then I write here, it's the board is a player character, and now I have for the TicTacToe to write the player character. But because I want them to, I wouldn't say oscillate, but to toggle between first player and the second player, I'll ask if the player character extends first player. Then I want the second player, otherwise I would like the first player. And then I'll close this thing up. And I think that's pretty much it. And if I'm right, hopefully, type, I'll just start with like this thing. Should be something right here. It doesn't know. Type result equal to tic-tac-toe with, and now we start. An empty board. The first guy does 5 because everyone does 5, doing 5. The second guy does a mistake 2. Yes, but it's not as pretty if you look at it like this because it's an inliner. It's more prettier if you look at it like this. And I wonder if you can use this extension to better show. But let's just say I want to play for the win. So I'll just do 1. It will do 1 and 2. Now the last guy needs to defend at it. So it will defend it at 9. And then I'll go for the win, which is 7. The guy defends 3. And we have a winner at 2. Oh, not 2. And I've written 2 twice. Oh, never mind. It should be 4. The winner is X! Woohoo! Okay, but as you can see, I've written here 2 twice, and it was a valid state. No. We need to fix that now. So it shouldn't be that hard if whether or not you double place the same character. So in order to do that, if turn extend and turn is equal of turn type, then we need to ask if on the board, the placement of the board has a character that is not blank. And if it does, I need to say you can do that. So if board at turn to chord at turn, a turn at 0, and pretty much this with 1, say don't have it. If it extends blank, then it's fine. But if it doesn't, then I need to write here for the text. Board cannot to place twice on the same position, and then I write here turn, and then it works. Oh my god! Oh wait, I forgot this thing. And now it actually works, and I love it. And now it's my child. Well, I hope you guys enjoy, because I'm gonna continue doing this crazy ass challenges. And let's just see if it just works for every number. Don't have to. Oh, it works for 7-7. Oh, it doesn't work for 7-7. But for some reason, it switches between whether or not the text should be above or below. Oh well. And it just works. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to publish this code at my repo, description down in the description. And tell me guys what you think. Are you up for this content or not? Talk to you guys later.